It's such a great pleasure to be here in Anthony Mascolo's library. It's kind of a dream to be here because you know he's this kind of person that all of us follow for our entire life. So to be here is super nice, and also to Hairdressing Live because what we have ready for today is you know a little. We want to show some of our most iconic looks that. But it was difficult because when we fight between us because we didn't know exactly which one is better, or you know, it really depends because I don't know if you know, but what we do is we don't have salon, so we spend our time trying to get new ideas for the hair industry. So what we are going to present today is. I would like to introduce Casper, which is a really important person in the team. Hi, Casper. How are you? Good. So, yeah, since I think like 5 years ago that he moves from Argentina, no?
Buenos Aires.
Yeah. And we start working, and it's a key part of also the team because sometimes most of the people know about Marco, Jose, or myself, but little by little, there's like a lot of really important people like this Casper. And what we have in mind today is to start with a color, the latest thing that we create, that is called rain color. And also at the end, we would like to show you how we start thinking from the pixel and the evolution of every single technique till what we are doing today, that is rain color. All right? So, welcome, Casper.
Okay. So what I'm using for this color is a technique we made that it's called rain color, and we use these kind of stencils. And now I'm going to show you how we prepare it.
But before to start, I would like to explain a bit more about the history of this stencil, because this is sometimes because we are a really small company that we started with a dream, with no support of you know, big companies, because we don't have salon, we don't buy any products. So in the beginning, it was really hard to work in this way. So the rain color is an evolution of some other techniques that we did previously. So, for example, now that we are doing disruptive color, it is an evolution of the pixel, or the thing of the Pikachu. I don't know if you saw it. And so, to understand what we are doing today, we need to, you know, to back in the times and see what we did it before. And this is just, I would like to play just one video that shows what we did in 2011, because we started to think in how to use the color to create the texture, not just to, and also thinking in the color like not in the vertical way, more thinking in horizontal to create something three-dimensional with the color, like we do with the makeup, trying to make the same thing with color. Yeah, this is the last. Every time I post in Instagram is always performing really well, and I don't know why, but this image has something, and this is the thing that we did it that I said before, that is it was called freeze color because it looks like the hair is like crimpy. Yeah? Sorry sometimes because English is not my first language, as you can see, so the idea is to create this texture just with the color. All right.
Okay, I'll just explain what I'm doing so they can see. So I'm going to work first a little bit to the front, and I put a paper underneath the hair, and I sprayed on a little bit of water just to control the hair, and before I put on my stencil. Okay, let's see. Okay. So the fringe is always the most difficult part. I don't know why I saved it for this. Because of course you have the head is round here, so it can jump up here on the side sometimes. Yeah, so the idea is to secure the foil as good as possible, because if you feel like it's not stuck, it hasn't stuck to the hair, it's better not to put product on the hole. Also, we create these papers so you have more drops here and then it fades out here. But if you think it's too much, you can also just put product on some of the holes, not all of them. No, está bien. So the bleach, it's important that it's not too liquid or too thick.
Is it too liquid?
It's too liquid.
It's too liquid. Give it to me. Prepáralo. Está ahí.
Just a little bit of powder. And as you can see, the section I've taken is quite thick. It doesn't have to be thin sections because it goes through quite a lot of the hair. But of course, it depends on the look you want. The idea with these are that we can make it more commercial. That's why these, for example, these are made. We have two different at the moment, and one of them is made to try and create texture in the hair, and the other to create volume in the hair.
Mm-hmm. And these images are the one that I was mentioned before, and if you can pass one by one, this one, for example, is based on Braille. Do you know the Braille? So there's a message with the color. This one with dark dots. And this is the one that I needed. The image that is maybe one of the iconic of X-Presion. And what I was saying before, that when we started with the idea, it was in 2011, but because we are a small company, we didn't have the power to spread, to make the tool to everybody. So now we are, thanks to, as I said before, we are an independent company, but we collaborate with, of course, with brand. So we are now really close with Schwarzkopf, and thanks to them, we could make this project come to life. You know, and for us, it's like a really important thing, because now hairdressers from all over the world now they can get it, and they are already starting sharing images with the rain color hashtag. And it's something like when we start the Pixel, it was also like that. We just post a few pictures, we use a hashtag, and then start growing and growing and growing. And it's something that we always say, that for us it's super nice to see how we just put ideas. We never say that it's going to be a trend, but sometimes it's become like really popular, all right? But we never talk about trends. We just talk about technique. So,
because the thing is, when you have these, you can use them in so many different ways. It doesn't have to be like I do it. We have experimented a lot before.
You want me to hold that?
Yeah, please. Yeah. So today I've chosen to apply it in dry hair with a little bit of spray, but we also used it in the same process as the tint. So we color the hair, and then we find our sections and put on the foil. It's more thought. Yeah, we did that thinking about the salons, because often you do the tint, and then if you want the effect, you can do it in the same process.
Yeah, and for us it's always a bit challenging when you create something new. In the beginning, you know, I have to be honest, when we first launched the Pixel, I think that became that popular because of all the haters that start commenting in Instagram or Facebook. And then in the beginning, because, you know, it's like when you see your old picture with your old hairstyle, you see yourself like strange. So when you see something new, just the people that are more open-minded understand. So in the beginning, it's always taking time to let the people like introduce into the market. All right. So, but here, the idea is to create something really commercial, not to create something crazy. You can do it, but depend on the way that you use the rain color thing, you get a really subtle, like as Casper said, no? If you just put on top of the tint, with the same color, you will see just, for example, if it's a red color, it will be red and with the drops of water slightly lighter. So it can be really commercial, or also sometimes we make some crazy things.
But of course you have to do, when we come up with these new things, you have to do like an artistic kind of way to capture the attentions of the hairdressers, the wow effect. But then later you have to be able to use it in the salons, because something is just for art, but most of it we want it to be able to use it for the clients. So it's important to have both. And I think that's why it took us so long from the first rain color to actually commercialize it.
Yeah.
I mean, the Pixel colour just blows my mind. I just don't know how you guys. How was the birth of that? How did that evolve? And because that must have been like serious hours and hours of working all of that detail out. So, you know, how did that come about, and whose idea? And it's just amazing.
This is a really interesting question, because, you know, in the way that the expression works, you will never hear any one of us telling that it was Jose ideas or whatever, because in the way that we work is always, for example, one day Casper come to the studio, I have this idea, and then we say, okay, nice, and then Jose, he transformed the idea into another thing, and then Marco destroyed the idea, and then the result, this is it's a process, a creative process between the four of us. So the idea doesn't come from just one mind. And actually, it was after one show in America, Minneapolis, with Antoinette Bender. We did some colors in the backstage, and we were working in another idea. And then, sometimes inspiration comes to your mind like working, and you are trying another thing, and then you get, and then we develop this idea more and more till we get the pixel. And you want to say something?
Yeah, I think actually a lot of the times the good ideas or the good things comes out when you're trying something completely different. You have some ideas you want to try, and you have this result in your head, and something else comes out that's actually better than the thing you were looking for.